feel like there's a little bit of a delay when it comes to YouNow and live broadcasts and then them going onto YouTube. So hopefully by now you can hear me talking. I'm not rambling because the last one started halfway through something that I was going to say, which was weird. Anyway, um, explaining this because that was cut off in the last video. I'm clean shaven because my girlfriend and I are doing a thing for Halloween. Both her and her roommate's Halloween party last night, a thing on Halloween itself, and hopefully a friend's Halloween party on Saturday. Our couple's costume, my girlfriend and I's, is Steve and Blue from Blue's Clues. She's obviously Blue the dog, I'm Steve. So, and dedication to the costume, Steve, the original guy in Blue's Clues, was clean shaven. Yeah, hopefully this thing comes back soon. I miss the goatee a lot. There's a strategic thing right around draft right around my chin that really bugs me. And all my families that I work with at work are going to probably react to the fact that I'm clean shaven. And I guarantee you a couple of them are not going to like it. But I don't care. Anyway, per the title down there, wherever it is, Fanstoys Kup follow-up. Yeah, we've already talked about the Target Master, so let me just pop him out. One thing that I have not noticed anybody talking about in the reviews that are out of Fanstoys Kup is the gun can store, just not where we think it is, or where we think it can, in vehicle mode. It literally just pegs into the trailer hitch right there. So, yeah. Pop it out. It plugs into that same spot right there that the Target Master pops into. This looks fine. I like this, but I'm honestly kind of more inclined to pose or show the Target Master with him in this mode. I don't know why, I just am. Gives me a reason to hold on to the Target Master if I'm being honest. But, yeah, anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Pop him out. Talk about the alt mode. I mean, this honestly looks like it's G1 Kup right out of the cartoon. Like I said, I believe in the last video about this figure and several other ones, there's not going to be, in my opinion, really ever a perfect Transformer. And I think Fanstoys Kup here, I'm just calling him Kup, not the actual name, is a perfect example of that because I feel like my biggest issues with him are, in this mode specifically, are that this section is just way too broken up, and I feel like this part right here, which is a very specific panel that you fold away into the chest for robot mode, and you pull out of the chest going to vehicle mode, and you just kind of leave there, and it just rests like this. I feel like this panel and this entire windshield section, they could have done something different with. It's a little too broken up, in my opinion. I don't know, just something about it bugs me. Then there's just a weird gap right here. There's just an indentation in the plastic. It's just a ring that goes all the way around. There's something that's supposed to go there, but there isn't. And I know that's accurate to how he looks in the animation model and in the actual original toy. But still, I don't know, just this front section, I do like how he looks overall, and I give this a very solid 8 out of 10 if you want a rating. But, no, scraps that, 8.5 out of 10. But, I don't know, just something about the overall aesthetic of this front chunk kind of irks me, and that it just looks a little too broken up. But yeah, and I do prefer, honestly, how these look, the more painted windshields, as opposed to the clear ones. It looks better, in my opinion, like this. I don't have nothing against the clear ones, it's just, I like how this looks better. My other issue with the robot mode, the alt mode, there's the underside. You can kind of see the hands, but that's fine, whatever. I'm not going to display him like this. So that's not an issue. But what the issue is these pieces on either side. So here and here. These are die cast, and the colors don't quite match the teal of the plastic. And as far as I'm concerned, there was no real reason for these pieces to be die cast, other than maybe to add a little bit of weight, so he didn't topple over from his feet being die cast or whatever, or maybe extra support for the feet, which just kind of hang out here in the back, which are kind of annoying. They just kind of chill out there, but it's accurate, it's fine. I know that doesn't really bug me all that much. But just these two pieces right here are like needless diecast, and that does kind of bother me. I don't mind diecast in my third-party Transformers. It's just if it serves a purpose and if it's there for a reason. And I feel like these two panels really didn't need to be diecast, and I feel like they only are so that they're more durable for the transformation. Which gives me the perfect segue to talk about the transformation. I have to give a shout out to Toy Dojo's YouTube channel because I forget the name of the dude who does their videos, but his like albeit very like scattered walkthrough of the transformation was really helpful. The instructions for Kup here are complete shit. Like they're just not helpful at all, especially with figuring out this top chunk. The legs are fairly intuitive transformation wise. Once you figure out where things go and how they bend and all that. This chunk up here, the chest, the head, and all of that, and this just the entire upper torso, basically the entire torso from the waist up, is just a fucking chore. And there's things that need to move around other things, but you need to like flex those pieces. Specifically, like there's a little bit of give in these pieces on the joint. The little bit right here, the wheel wall that tabs into this diecast piece and tabs into part of this piece. There's a little bit of give in the joint on these pieces, and that's because there's a panel that's basically like the oblique for Kup that needs to go behind that piece. And I don't know, there's just a lot of weird design choices with the transformation that could have been a lot better and just not have been as much of a nuisance as they are. Just the way the hip skirts transform, honestly, is kind of pointless. I kind of feel like they could have just like had them just flip up or just do something, because they just kind of like pivot, and that's it. Like they pivot and they have to be a specific position, and that's it. And that's not really shown in the comic, in the instructions. That oblique panel again basically has to go behind this panel, but to get it to go behind this panel, you have to like lift this panel up, move the oblique panel back. It's just ridiculous. It's a very fiddly transformation, and I'm not a fan of it when it comes to this section. Granted, it's not nearly as bad, even though I do like Sunsurge here a lot. It's not nearly as fiddly as Sunsurge's transformation. Like, hands down, even though I love this figure, and I'm going to hold on to him in spite of Takara's Masterpiece Sunstreaker coming out sometime soon, hopefully after Dinobot. Because, do we even have pre-orders for Dinobot yet? I don't think we do. So Sunstreaker might be coming out first and then Dinobot. I think that is the case. Anyway, I'm rambling. Somebody's going to comment on that, hopefully. But even though, like, Takara's Sunstreaker is coming out, and I am getting that, because then I'll just get a better knockoff Sideswipe, I really like Bad Cube's Sunstreaker here. He's really good. Yes, the transformation's fiddly as hell, and it took me literally like an hour to transform him the first time I got him. But this is the pinnacle of, like, fiddly transformations, if you ask me, and, like, needlessly complicated transformations. Kup's here is not that bad, comparatively. Like, it's not as pointlessly fiddly as Bad Cube's Sunsurge's is, but it's, like, almost, like, overly engineered. And it's one of those that definitely will get more intuitive the more times I do it, but at the same time, I don't know. It honestly kind of bugs me with how much of a curve there is with the transformation. The instructions, like I said, are complete shit. They don't specify what you need to do at all. The instructions are just terrible. So if you get this figure, I know Bolt Matrix said he's going to do a step-by-step transformation video. Check out Toy Dojo's transformation video. It starts like, the transformation bit starts like 23 minutes into their video, and then stops randomly because they do another comparison, and then restarts. But just watch their step-by-step. I found it really helpful. But yeah, no, like, this is just, I'm just flipping through the instructions, and this is not going to show up because the quality on these live streams is crap. But, like, these instructions are fine for the most part, but there's very strategic parts where they're not helpful. Like, to me, like, this wasn't clear, that this just, like, this wasn't clear at all, that, like, that the centerpiece of the windshield just lifts up. And there's no real explanation that slide the wheels upside. Like, that doesn't show you what to do. And just the instructions are not that good. Push to up left side. Like, some of these instructions just, like, they just make no sense. And it's just like, I don't know. And they're just like, they're just kind of terrible. And just, I don't know. Something about the instructions just legitimately really bugs me. Like, even on the legs. The legs right here, that panel right there, which you guys won't be able to read, says pull down. That seems to imply that you just like telescope the legs down to transform them. No, that's not at all what you do going to all mode. You have to like wiggle them out and down. That does not specify you have to pull out and down. The instructions are not good. So look for a video review that does the transformation and all that for Kup here. So overall, Robot Mode is a solid AF. There's not going to be a perfect figure. Overall, he's an 8.5 out of 10, both modes. And the transformation, it's fine. I'm sure I'll get more used to it the more I do it, and we'll be able to do it like it's the back of my hand some point soon. But initially, like, it did take me a good like a half hour to go like meticulously step by step just to make sure I was doing everything right, following along with Toy Dojo's video, because they're the only people as of this filming on the 29th of October that have an actual like transformation video out that you can follow step by step with. So yeah, but overall, really good figure. Definitely recommend him if you can get him. I think he went for a little over 100 before shipping off Toy Dojo, which I think is very reasonable for this. But yeah, again, nitpicks are just the transformation, still a little bit too overthought in my opinion, especially in this torso front of the car section, and the needless diecast on these panels. And I do get why they are diecast, so there isn't too much like bending and warping and damaging of these panels in the transformation, because they literally have to like go down here and then you have to tab this piece into here and into a port on the underside of this wheel well panel. So if these pieces weren't die-cast, they would probably break over time, but at the same time, like, I feel like that's kind of a lame excuse for them being die-cast. Could be just me. Anyway, enough of my freaking ramblings. Thanks for watching this message of video, guys. Get Fanstoys Kup if you're at all interested. He's pretty cool.